Hey guys, it's me again, Workslayer. What if? So where I last left off is, I believe Deku was getting all that after he just got adopted by his grandfather in canon. Or I guess, sort of just put to work. Now where I'm continuing off is that it's about 2 years later. I believe I said he was 7, now he's 9. Throughout these years, throughout the, year, every now and then, he'd actually end up, taking another thing. Like, taking another thing's soul. Like another wolf, or, another boar. Or, a boar, at one point. Simply because he doesn't actively hunt them, but he does go out there and look at things. And so he's been attacked one time or another. So he always had, a little hunting knife or something on him, something that would, he could use to defend himself. And I'll say he and, a few others probably do go hunting, because the town is farming, but there could be, a few hunters there. So what he does is that, after he goes hunting, he'll go off by himself sometimes and just look around and just make sure he has his equipment. And well, the time with the boar is that he was just looking at, another group of boars, and out of nowhere, just, he gets slammed by another one. He immediately summons up the two, the hawk and the wolf. He immediately summons those two up. He doesn't summon the man, because he doesn't want anyone to see, just in case, because, well, he knows it's illegal, and someone else may know it's illegal, but, yeah. As I continue forward, Deku and them just team up on the boar. The hawk is constantly swooping down and sort of taking deep gouges out of the boar, and the wolf is doing what wolves will do. It's trying to get him to turn around, or Bell is trying to get the boar to turn around so that way the wolf can easily get at the hind legs and such. So at one point, the boar's little soul sort of does the whole flows red. Deku literally grabs it and just again rips it out of nowhere. The boar falls straight over. He ends up taking the skin. He doesn't actually take it. He actually just leaves it so that way it doesn't look suspicious, because boars are pretty tough. They would question why there are bite marks and deep gouges and how he was able to do it. Sorry. How he was able to accomplish this feat. Then I think I said there was another wolf. Another time, this actually happened a week or two after he was doing it. And went to look, walk past where the boar was last. And another lone wolf just jumps on him. He immediately summons up the hawk, and it grabs the wolf and just grabs it and throws it into a tree. Deku immediately walks up, the soul is red, and just rips it out. And this gives him, he could, I'll say, merge these two to create a stronger, better wolf. Just multiply, add each abilities to the same cell. It wouldn't become twice the size. It would just grow a little bit and gain a little bit of strength in a way. But I continue forward. After this one day, there really isn't anything I can think of. Bell and his grandfather just continue throughout the day. Bella's continuing to do these things. And I'll say at one point, there's they go out. Bell and his, little sister are going out with a group of friends. Bell has done his chores and everything, so, yeah. After Bell completes his chores, his grandfather, Grandpa Bell, I guess, would shall refer to him as, just does whatever. Because they complete their jobs and such, and he allows them to have time to be children, because that's what they are, children. But he continues on through the day with his sibling, his little sister, and the other people around the little farm. Now, I was saying that they're out just in the woods having fun. Deku is just like with them, and I'll say they're messing around like a little pond. Like so, two wolves rock up like duh, wah, wah, wah. Deku thinks that he just needs to do it. Not Deku. Bell immediately summons up the two wolves and the giant boar that like walks forward like. As they're just like staring down, the wolves take a look and then they just start running. Bell like summons them back. The other kids are like, "Whoa, that's cool." Some are like, "What?" And some of the other ones are like, "That's cool." They're like, yeah." Like, "Can you bring the wolf out?" They're like, sure." As he like summons it again, he like just waves his hand and it resummons. Like, the wolf like walks up to them and just. The two wolves walk up to them and sniff them. They aren't gonna be like playful and such. After all, they're sort of just like specters, no wills of their own. Nope, no wills of their own as far as I know. But they continue onward, and the kids play fetch with them and such. The boar is still kept away. Deku actually sends them, and like the kids ask him, does he have anything else? And he brings out the eagle. It's like, I think I said it was a hawk actually. The hawk is just massive. They're like, whoa. Then a couple, yeah, that sounds good. Is that a giant snake comes out of nowhere, just grabs one of the kids. Before it's like able to fully grab him, the bird comes like grabs it up in the air and just like throws it down. It takes quite a bit of damage. Bell rushes over, grabs the soul and rips it out. The snake just goes limp after he does that. Some of the kids are like, whoa, what did he do? I would say like when he goes to rip out a soul, his hands kind of turn sort of specter-like, you know? And just rips them out. Like, and after like the snake was a bit harder because I'll just say its will to survive is much stronger than Bell's. Bell's like want to protect, so it's like a bit stronger. They're kind of even. So Bell just rips it out. Like again, he just rips it out, and it just flows into his into him. Snake goes limp. So the kids are like, "Whoa, is that how you got these?" He's like, "Yep." And so after a little bit, he summons up the snake. It's a pretty big snake. I'll say about maybe 6 feet. 6 feet sounds nice. 6 feet and such. So as Bell continues on through the day, nothing really weird happens. He just goes out. The kids tell him about, like, their parents about, Bell did this really cool thing and all that. And the parents sort of get worried. Because I'll say a few of them know about these soul takers and they kind of get worried. So they bring it up to Bell's grandfather. And they just sort of like talk. I guess they'll hold like a little thing, and some of them bring up this to like their little group and saying that he could be a danger to the kids. Bell's grandfather says in the 2 years he's been here, he's done nothing but been helpful. Why would you say such thing just because of a little knowledge that came to you? He's a soul taker. He could rip out souls. He could do it to people. He's like, so what? As far as I can tell, he's never ripped it out of a person. And so he tells Bell to get in here, and he tells Bell to summon all the animals he has. So he summons all of them. He takes the boar, the giant eagle, the giant hawk, the 2 wolves, and the giant snake. He's like, see, nothing else. Belle's just like looking down because he's kind of sad that people would even think that he would even use these powers on them. He's like, is that all? He's like, yes. Says it pretty firmly and clearly. So some of them say, are you sure that's all? Yes, that's all. There's nothing else. No other animals. And they're like, what about another person? He kind of like tenses up at that. They're like, summon him. Now, he's like, I don't want, he's like, summon him now. So after he like draws up the courage, he just like, and out appears of nowhere, it's just like a guy wearing armor with 2 axes. Just like a spirit. Now within this time it's become more defined and such. So it's like a metal armor with like 2 giant like things that 2 giant like pillars or arms that would slam around and such. Sort of like a stone, like a thing made of stone and such. So they're like, what the? He tells Belle to tell a story how he got this. Belle tells a story how he came to be in possession of this thing. That he knows that was wrong, but he just sort of happened. So as he like explains the story, he sort of wins them all to his side. All of them to his side. So as he continues forward, he just continues forward with his life. And I'll say the whole scenario with his grandfather falling into the pit of monsters and all that happens. Even at one point he sends out the even at one point sending out all that. Even at one point sending out all those, as he would say, like animals and such to like find them. Like he sends out the wolves, the snake, the giant bird. He sends them all out, but he still can't find them. So as he continues forward with his life, he gets to Orario, and does the whole, and his sister's there. If you guys want to come up with a name for her, I cannot for the life of me. And let's see, he's like 15, I think, when he gets there, maybe 16. So I'll say his sister's 13, actually, 14. So they're about to be able to go into the dungeon. So as Belle, as Belle tries to sort of convince his sister that she could stay here, she's like, no, I'm going with you. She doesn't really possess any magical potential. Like, they're not even sure why Belle has the ability. But I'll say at one point, Belle and them sort of delved into it, and they learned that sort of like at random. Like, some family could like have it for generations. Not generations, but one family could go like generations with no magical potential. Then there's just like one with the ability to take spirits. So it's like a hit or miss. You could have it or you could not. It's as simple as that. Nobody really has pinpointed why they can have this. Some think it's because they're like more spiritually pure. Some of them say it's darker. One or the other side. It's just a bunch of theories. But when Belle and them arrive in the city, I guess, get there and do the whole trying to find an adventure, trying to find a familia. And again, the only one who would take them in is Hestia. They're wearing similar clothes. Such, Belle doesn't reveal his powers, like, just yet. He sort of, like, keeps them hidden away. So he's a lot like how he is. He's very small, and uses, like, the very agile and such. His sister is very similar, except she liked, instead of using two daggers, she likes to use like a crossbow, like a archer. She's like like an archer. So she uses those for her abilities. Now, as Belle and them continue forward with their lives, they go through the dungeons and such. Belle and them are running through, and Belle is able to take some of the monsters. He's like, "You're mine!" as he takes their souls and such. It's very complicated, because I wouldn't say it's their souls, it's just more or less their specters in a way, because we don't really know if they have souls, just know they have those little gems. So at one point, like, Belle's finding a couple of those weird wolves and ants. At one point he tries to take one, but it just doesn't work. It's just like, this ain't working, as he just like cuts him down. As he like another time he tries like hard to grab something that's humanoid, grabs it and just barely like rips it out. It's like one of those werewolf hybrids. So what Deku does, it sees if he can combine them. So he takes the two wolves and then the person and just combines them. And I'll say he actually has gotten more wolves over the years. Ugh, dang it. Over the years, so that way he'll see, like, to add to his pack. So as he does it, he, like, puts them into this weird wolfman thing. And as he does it, they just, like, upgrade to, like, get bigger claws, like, just stronger and such, as it continues forward. And now, Belle one day just goes into the thing himself with his sister helping Hestia around with some of her jobs. And as she does it, Belle gets attacked by the Minotaur, just, whoa! He isn't, like, immediately off-put. I'll say he's, like, before he's been there for, like, 6 months. Or, like, at least 4 months. And Belle's, like, constantly going back. He's, like, smarter in this, since he's, like, learned about how he can summon these spirits. And he's come to realize that he can't just rely on them. That he must be good, like, get good, to defend himself just in case there, like, is a day he cannot. But in this instance, that isn't a part. So he summons a couple of wolves and a giant snake. The couple of wolves, like, tear at its ankles, while the giant snake wraps around the Minotaur's neck. The Minotaur throws off the wolves and smashes the weird werewolf hybrid. It then grabs the snake and tears it apart. And it just evaporates into ghostly vestiges or whatever. Then he summons the giant eagle and the giant boar. The boar pounds into it like sort of. The Minotaur, for its way, just holds it like. While the eagle or the hawk is tearing at its back and even scratches out an eye. The Minotaur gets sick of it and just grabs the eagle, slams it into the wall, and evaporates. But it's gotta be tougher, so it like sort of snaps the boar's thing. Out of nowhere, then Deku finally summons what I would call his trump card, which he has deemed Gladiator. It rushes forward and after a solid punch, it sends the Minotaur flying. Like, whoa. As the Minotaur goes to get up, he rushes forward, and he sees that he can grab the soul. When it flashes red, he grabs it, starts tearing it out. The Minotaur is just, like, on the ground screaming as he's, like, ringing it in, and just... As that happens, the Minotaur just goes... As it collapses, then... It just pops. Like, not pop, but poofs into, like, the black mist. As he does that, Wallenstein walks over and I believe Bet, the wolf dude, was there as well. They're like, what the fuck? As they walk over, they're like, are you okay? Oh, I'm fine. As he sort of collapses to the ground, because he did take a while to, like, not just to kill the wolf, not the wolf, but the minotaur, he actually did try to take it down with his own skills. Once he realizes he was outmatched, he sort of just called in his troops and realizes that it took his, as I said, trump card to like take down this beast. So he realizes that he's probably going to do a lot more training as well as a lot more gathering of, instead of just plain weak troops, he would go around trying to get strong monsters as well, like this minotaur. So when he gets out of the dungeon with his nice little haul, he gets to the thing with Aisha? Not Aisha, oh, God, it was good. Take a breath in. I took a bit of spit. Forget her name. Dang it. But Bell continues forward. Talks with his dungeon advisor. Like I said, I forgot her name. I'm sorry. And just continues on with his day. He actually at one point meets the... After he goes through his day and goes to the whole... Not the whole thing, but goes through the whole thing and goes home. He goes home and just talks about how he was able to steal a minotaur's soul, and at this point his sister's like, wait, what? Yeah, a minotaur came out of nowhere. I had to pull out Gladiator to deal with that. She's like, ooh, we need to do some training. As they both realize this, Hestia walks in like, hey, I brought food. So as they eat, Bell actually gets his status update, and he has gotten more agility, more agility and toughness, because he did take a couple of hits, and that smashes him around. So he's doing pretty well. So as he continues forward, continues forward. And as he's going past the dungeon one day, not the dungeon, but the hostess of fertility, Seer still gives him the lunch. He's like, oh, thanks. He's actually with his sister this time. So he's like, come on, sis, let's go. As that happens, Seer's like, bye. And as that continues forward, Bell and them go through the dungeon. Not Seer. His sister is using her arrows, such, and I'll say she actually has a miniature crossbow just in case things get too close, so she'll pull it out pfft. And she uses I'll say she just uses a short sword. She just in case. She doesn't have any time to pull out the small crossbow, but it takes a while to load them. It just takes a little bit to load the small crossbow. So she needs to get up close and personal. She'll use a tiny little short sword. And Bell is running with his daggers, cutting, or the dagger cutting through them. So as they arrive at the hostess of fertility that night, after cashing in all their little blocks of stone, Bell and his sister sit down and eat. Mama Mia still gives them the food and all that, and everything. So then the Loki familia busts and the whole with Eyes, Bet, Tion and Tiana or whatever, and I think it was Tion and Tiana or something like that, and etc. So as they continue forward, Bell has his thing, and they actually get onto the subject after Bell and his sister are eating, that they get on the subject of the kid that they saw who stole a minotaur soul. Wait, what? I believe the elf with the green hair, actually hears about this and is wait, what? There's a soul stealer? They're what? They're one of the most powerful types of magic that someone can be born with. And you said a kid stole a minotaur soul? Yeah, and before that he had this giant golem thing, punch it or something. And Bet says, if you ask me, sounds kind of weak, having those things fight for him. The wizard's shut up. You don't want to get on those things one of those guys' bad side. They could kill something. They could, if they, it's, if you ever want to save yourself, make sure your will is stronger than them. If not, you're screwed. Like, why? They see a person's soul and they could rip it out if they wanted to. They've been known as, like, some of them have gone on murder sprees and literally taken over entire things with just the things they have stolen. You realize this, right? They are the most dangerous thing on this planet, or in this realm. Nothing short of a god, and even then, some gods may die after fighting these guys. They don't get their powers, it's just that whatever they summon, if they get that chance to steal that thing's soul, they are done for. Because it says their will is unbreakable. Not even a god's will would break upon theirs. Like, oh. Then they give a description of the kid, then one of the Amazonian sisters is like, hey, isn't that him? Yeah? And they're like, wait, what? They notice the white hair of Belle and his sisters. So Eyes walks over and she's like, hey, how did you do that whole thing with the minotaur? She's like, oh, this ability I've had for a long time. And I've taken a while to, as he says, master it. I don't even know if this is the full extent. So the green elf walks over and says, what can you do? Well, I've taken a few animals and some of the creatures from the dungeon and sort of mixed them. And what about the giant one? The one you used to fight the Minotaur? Oh, you mean Gladiator. Yes, Gladiator. How did you get that? Well, one time, well, it's not important. Nor I think that's any of your concern. Well, she says, kinda is, cause depending on how you got those, you could be in legal, like, some trouble. He's like, what do you mean? Well, see, there's a whole code about you guys not taking things and such, you know, the whole, not taking a human being. She's like, yes, how do you know? Well, I did a little bit of research and delve a bit kind of deep into our things, or my thing. Figure out more about this power. It's not random, all that whole shebang. I was like, oh, it's getting kind of late. God, it's getting kind of late. Hey, come on, sister, let's go home. She's like, yeah, brother, let's go home. They like pay off their like whole things, and it's like, bye, Eyes, bye, wolf dude, bye, white-haired girl. They walk home and they collapse in bed. Belle reminisces on like the day he like first got the wolf. He's like, I can't believe it's been 11 years. Wow. No point dwelling on it. Good night, sister. Good night, Hestia. Good night. And that's the end of that. This has been kind of long. Trying to make things shorter. Tell me if you like them shorter or not. Anyways, hope you all have a nice night, nice day, nice life. Tell me what you think. And again, thank you for watching.